Boo! It's Boo to Bone. I'm here for your weekly Indonesian lesson. Great to see you again, 4-5s. This week, we are going to continue on with our food theme and we are going to be investigating rice. Now, rice is one of Indonesia's staple foods. That means they eat it for every meal of the day. That includes breakfast. The reason it is a staple food is because of the humidity that Indonesia experiences. It's a really easy crop to grow. It's the humidity plus the rain together that make it really important. And also, it's a really cheap food to put on the table for their families. Okay, so our learning focus today is we are learning about the importance of rice in the lives of the Indonesian people. We are learning important information about rice, its growth and background. Our success criteria today is I can reflect on the importance of rice in the lives of Indonesian people, and I can use information learnt about rice in Indonesia to answer questions. So today we are going to be using this note-taking graphic organizer to organize our ideas and learning from today's session. So today you'll be watching a video on rice and you'll also be listening to me read to you some information from a snippet of information I have put on this slideshow. So you will be taking notes using this nice setup of a graphic organizer. So it wants you to write the main idea, your key vocab. So the key vocab that comes through in the information today. What important information have you picked up along the way? And can you give me a summary of what you have learnt and tell me the source of your information today? And the source is, we're talking about the video and the information that is in the slides. So I'm going to give you a chance now to press pause on the video and either draw one of these note-taking graphic organizers up in your Indonesian book, or you can print it off in the PDF format that I have, PDF format I have attached to the Edmodo post. So I want you to do that now and get yourselves ready with a grey lead and your note-taking graphic organizer for the video. Here we go. So we're going to watch a video on growing rice in Indonesia.
Rice is the staple crop in Indonesia. Most people there eat rice at every meal. It isn't just boiled or steamed, but can be made into a variety of different shapes and flavors. You can grow rice on dry ground, but most is grown in paddies, fields flooded with a few inches of water. Indonesia was originally covered with jungle, but much of the land has been converted to agriculture. Because the land is so mountainous, the hillsides must be terraced to create level areas for the paddies. This takes a lot of work, but it creates stunning landscapes. Before planting, the land is cultivated. Where paddies are big enough, the work can be done with a water buffalo, but many paddies are too small for the animals to turn around, and the work must be done by hand. Increasingly, small tractors do the plowing. Then the soil must be smoothed and leveled. Indonesia has lots of rain. Still, it takes great care to get the right amount of water to the right place at the right time. To improve fertility, water ferns and other floating plants are grown in the paddies along with the rice. Before planting, some of the green mulch is pushed down into the mud. While the paddy is being prepared, rice seedlings are grown in a separate bed. When they're about 6 inches tall, they're dug up and replanted in the paddy. It's back-breaking work. Water isn't stagnant in the paddy. There's a slow but steady flow through the fields. The sound of running water is everywhere, and it takes a lot of effort to keep the paddies free of weeds and with just the right amount of water. Every inch of land is used. In about 60 days, the rice begins to flower and set fruit. The terraces are spectacular. Finally, the grain is ripe and ready for harvest. The paddies are generally too small for machines, so the harvesting is done with hand sickles. Bundles of rice are beaten against the basket to shake loose the grain. When the harvest is finished, ducks are brought in to glean the spilled grains. After they've finished their jobs, the ducks go off to market to become someone's duck dinner. The rice straw is put back into the paddy to compost and return nutrients to the soil. The grain is bagged and carried to the edge of the field. These bags weigh about 100 pounds each. The trail through the field is too narrow for a truck, so a motorcycle carries the bags to town. The rice is spread to dry in the sun. You have to pound the rice to loosen the hulls. Nowadays, this is generally done by a machine. Finally, we have delicious rice as the center of the meal.
Okay, so that was some information in a video about growing rice in Indonesia. Now I'm going to read you some information about rice and its history and culture. Rice is one of the oldest foods in the world. It was first cultivated more than 6,000 years ago. Rice is a staple food for many people in Indonesia and is eaten for every meal of the day, breakfast, lunch and dinner. There are many kinds of rice grown and used in Indonesia. The Indonesians have long grain, short grain, sticky rice, whilst they also have varieties of black and red rice. Rice is so special in Indonesia that there are 3 names for it. Rice is called padi when it's growing in the field. When rice has just been harvested, they call it beras. And when rice has been cooked, it is nasi. A popular dish in Indonesia is nasi goreng, which translates to fried rice. You may have tried it last year. It is popular at breakfast time and is a dish made with a variety of meats, spices, vegetables and sweet soy sauce, which is kecap manis. Rice is also used in special family and religious ceremonies. For example, in Bali, the Balinese Hindus make rice offerings to the gods. Rice grows both on hills and on flat land in many parts of Indonesia. Sometimes the hills are terraced and mud walls are built around the edges to keep the terraces full of water. During the wet season, which is October through till April, the monsoons bring water to the young rice plants, and this ensures a large rice harvest. The life of a rice farmer is very busy. As rice takes between 3 to 5 months to grow, the farmer must tend to the crops regularly. This involves weeding, mending broken mud banks and keeping the water flowing clear through the water channels. You saw all that in the video. The farmer must also keep the crops safe from pests. Some use chemicals, while a large number of farmers use the traditional way of using ducks to control the pests. The ducks love eating snails. They also fertilise the sawah, which are the rice fields, and keep the weeds down by digging with their bills. Okay. So now here are your questions for today. So you're going to be writing these questions in your Indonesian book. So you'll probably have to pause here to keep the questions up so you can write them in your book. Please make sure that when you do write a question, if you don't write the question down, that you include the question in your answer. For example, question 1 says, when was the rice first cultivated? Now, if I write down number 1, and I don't write the question, I expect you to write, rice was first cultivated 6,000 years ago. Okay, so make sure when you answer questions, you include the question in your answer. So question 1 is, when was rice first cultivated? Question 2 is, name some rice varieties grown in Indonesia. Question 3 is, what are the 3 names for rice in Indonesia and the form it comes in? Wonder if you can remember the Indonesian words I said. Number 4 is, why do you think rice is used as an offering to the gods in Indonesia? Number 5 is, how long does it take rice to grow and why do you think it takes this long? Number 6 is, what animal keeps the pests at bay in the rice fields? Number 7, how do you think the ducks fertilise the rice fields? And number 8, I want you to tell me about the process of growing and harvesting rice, and that's in the video. Try your very best with these questions and make sure you press the like button once you've finished your task. Good luck and sampai jumpa.